one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
I can't even think about all of the shit I did to fit in. Past hard to watch like a fucking scary movie. I'm always happy to meet somebody that never knew me. Change for the better, hope niggas are living through me. I put it all on the wax so the people can know the true me. Hard to remain sane when the people you love the most is what's causing the damn pain. Y'all beef by the same thing, we ain't playing the same game. It's all for my family. She the girl of your fucking dreams, but to me she a plain Jane. You dip in ball, man. I dump when them calls came. This that higher level thinking. I'm the type to jump the fuck off of the shit before it's sinking. Not here for no new shit. My game slider boost it. Ain't I don't have to prove shit. Rockstar fight the fool shit. My movie, this the new script. I want a life with no bullshit. Nigga, I know on these news clips. That's why I dap him and move quick. Won't be around when they move switch. Won't be around when they lose clips. Won't be around for they lose lips. Might be the reason they pull shit. Yeah.
Yesterday's price is not today's price, Ravens. What you thought you were going to have to pay him, you're going to have to pay him more.
It is. It took everything in me to do that yelling just right there just now. I just want y'all to know that. But yo, bro, it's another NFL week, bro. Like, I'm not going to say what I was yesterday, but I was so something yesterday. When I was saying that it was week 11, I wasn't even for sure that it was week 11. It could have been week 12. It could be week 12 right now, but when this video get uploaded, it's going to say week 11. So, you know, it is what it is. But listen, bro, how's everybody's day going, yo? How dope is the day? Imagine waking up on a Sunday morning and watching your team lose by the time you hop back into bed. It's a tough feeling. Couldn't be me. But listen. I thought about something yesterday. Something was brought to my attention. Do you realize that when they had them fucking 10 o'clock in the morning games, 9 o'clock in the morning games, people in Cali got to get up at 6 in the morning if they want to see that shit? 6 in the morning. Like, bruh, they might as well just stay up. They might as well not even go to sleep. That is torturous. I just want, bro, when I blow up, when I get rich one day, and I finally make enough money to where I can set up my base, I'm setting it up in the East Coast, and I'm living in the East Coast. I am not living in the West Coast, bro. Now, I know some people like, bro, when your body get adjusted to that, yada, yada, yada. I'm good. I'm East Coast living for far too long. I'm not trying to get my body, adjusted to that. Just imagine when I finally get out to the West Coast one day, where I'm going places I never been before. You know, I'm talking to people that I knew I was going to talk to one day, but didn't know exactly who it was going to be and whatnot. But just and this time zone just got me all fucked up. It's going to be crazy. Like, some of the first people that meet me when I get out there to the West Coast one day, they're going to be like, bro, what's this dude, all right? And I'm going to have to tell them, bro, I've literally never been to the West Coast, my guy. Never. Like, never fucked with this time zone. But that's neither here nor there, yo. I was listening to something. Somebody was playing. Well, I wasn't really listening to it. I was in a store. And I just talk to random people sometimes. Like, I'm not somebody who's scared to talk to people, but I also am somebody who don't really initiate a conversation. Like, I will initiate a conversation. Like, I have no problem with it, but I don't go out of my way to, if that makes sense. Like, I can be very social and I can be very antisocial and very to myself. I can be an extrovert, I can be an introvert. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Most of the time I like to be, you know, in my zone. It's hard to knock me out of my zone, to be completely honest with you. But listen, I was in the store buying some Lil Debbie cream pie. What them shits called? Snickerdoodle cream. Hey, yo, them shits kind of a drop. Now, I don't know if I'm going to say they better than the original oatmeal pies, because them shits kind of, them shit thumpers, cuz. But listen, nonetheless, I heard a Ariana Grande song playing in the store. And as I was getting some bread, getting some bread, listen, though. Stop playing. As I was getting some bread, getting some bread. Chill the fuck out. As I was getting a loaf. Excuse me. As I was getting a loaf, a woman who was also getting a loaf, which I call her a woman, but she was probably younger than me. Either way, she was getting a loaf of bread, and she was also singing whatever the fuck Ariana Grande song was playing in the store. I vibe with people who just like to fucking sing out in public, like, cause she wasn't like low singing, like she was singing decent, like high enough for me to hear her on the out, and high enough, loud enough basically for her not to give a fuck if somebody was hearing her. Like she knew either she was super high though, she could have been super high, but when I walked up to her and was talking to her, I didn't get the vibe that she was super high. Like if she was super high, then she definitely fooled me, because I did not get the vibe. I just thought she was just happy as shit that day. Either way, I asked her what the fuck song was playing, because I had heard the song before. I just didn't know what the name of the song was, because I don't listen, bro. It's nothing against Ariana Grande, the donut licker. You know, if you don't know who Ariana Grande is, she the one who be licking donuts and putting them back in the thing and shit like that. Now, why did you have to bring that up, Saint? I don't know why they got to bring up bad shit that black people do every time they talk about black person. Why they got to bring up dogs every time they talk about Vic? Why they got to bring up crab legs every time they talk about my boy Jameis? Why they got to bring up laptops every time they talk about Cam? I don't know. So I decided to bring that up about Ariana Grande. But Ariana Grande, it's absolutely nothing personal, because she was also Kat in that Nickelodeon show, Victorious. And she was in another show too. But she was always the most irritating character because of how high-pitched her voice was in the show. Could not have imagined that her singing voice would be also as high-pitched. Now, I don't really listen to Ariana Grande because, well, at all. I know like 3 songs that I enjoy by her. But this song, the woman who was singing it, she said the name of the song was POV. And so we had a little conversation how she loved Ariana Grande. The just funny thought part about the conversation was like, she like, oh, you like Ariana Grande too? I was like, nah, not really. I just like this song kind of nice. And that shit was hilarious how we went in, but I'm not getting into that. But listen, I don't usually like songs that sung at such a high pitch and then stay at that high pitch, if that makes sense. But this song pretty nice. Like, you know, the lyrics of it is pretty nice. You know what I'm saying? The end of it is a thumper. The end of it, when, you know, it's always the back end of them songs that be bro, fuck that Ariana Grande shit, though. Respectfully. We're here to talk about football, baby. Week 11 in the NFL. You know how the football week. Talking too fast. Slow down, Saint. You know how the NFL week started. Tennessee went into Green Bay and beat the Titans. Now, it was hilarious to me that exactly what I said was going to happen was going to happen. I was going to pick against Tennessee for some fucking reason, even though I knew Green Bay wasn't going to win this game, and Green Bay was going to lose this game. And that's exactly what they did. Aaron Rodgers played bad, but that's no shocker to me, because you know who else played bad on NFL Week 11? Baker Midfield. 2 interceptions, a 20-something QBR, which is only a few points higher than his own season QBR. The man is garbage. If you are a Baker Midfield fan, below mid, under average, below the bar, not a standard. That is what Baker Midfield is. You much like Skip if you still defending this dude. I don't know how people can still be defending this dude, but that is neither here nor there. They go into Baltimore and they lose 3-13. It wasn't an offensive type of day for Baltimore. A team that usually giving you 27 to 30 points on a weekly basis. They came out of the block slow today. Mental mistakes, errors, different type of things. Give credit to the Panthers. They played some great defense. I would like to say Baltimore coming off of bye weeks under the Lamar Jackson era. I need to go back and check it a little bit, but I don't think I feel like Lamar the type of player that need to just play all the way through. His bye week got to come early, because Lamar Jackson playing all the way through is the best Lamar Jackson you going to get. He don't need no days off. if that makes sense. I'm not saying a slave might die to death. That's definitely not what I'm advocating. Would never advocate nothing, no nonsense like that. But listen, bro, this not about MaGOAT right now, bro. This about Baker midfield, below mid, below average, below the bar, not the standard, not that guy, just a guy. Baker midfield, yet again, could not get it done as the starter. I don't know why y'all like this motherfucker. I don't know why y'all keep making excuses for this motherfucker, because it ain't no way. It ain't no way a dude could get... Matter of fact, let me put it in perspective for you like this. Lamar Jackson has been criticized more than Baker Mayfield, and he was the 30th pick in the same fucking draft in the first round and has done far more in his career than Baker Mayfield. And yet Baker Midfield, below average, below the bar, not the standard, trash, can. He don't get criticized nowhere near as much. I still see people defend this dude. Why? Because he white. He a prototypical quarterback. He can't throw. People keep talking about, oh, Lamar can't throw. Baker cannot throw. Baker is inaccurate. And I know some people think they minds are so simplistic. Oh, he can't throw. And they're going to show you a whole bunch of decent throws. When we say he can't throw, we're not talking about the motherfucker can't throw a football, bozo. Obviously, they can throw a football. We're talking about they can't throw on an NFL level consistent enough to win games. Consistent enough to lead teams to victory with that arm. That's something that Baker midfield, below mid, under mid, below average, not the standard, garbage. That's what he give you on a weekly basis since he been in the NFL. And, you know, I took it personal when Baker said some of the shit that he said. But I really, well, not really personal. I just, except for that Lamar comment that he made, I'm always going to take that. But that's why I'm always going to feel the way I feel about Mr. Mid. But listen. Y'all tried to assassinate OBJ's character. Y'all tried to tell me that man was a piece of shit because his dad and all this blah, blah, blah. Now everybody riding with him because he don't win and win on Super Bowl. Because a lot of people realizing Baker the problem. But I've been watching Baker underthrow, throw behind receivers, throw too far in front of receivers, throw at receivers' feet, throw behind the receivers, pop them in the head like Justin Fields did yesterday. I done seen this shit for years now. People were still out there defending him. Trying to tell me that Kevin Stefanski was the problem. The motherfucker came in and he the only reason that team got to the playoffs that year because his scheme came in and changed his team. That wasn't even a perfect team that he took to the playoffs that year. And somehow they give all the credit to Baker. When you go back and look at that season, Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt were dominant all year. The defense, Myles Garrett, did their part. Baker Mayfield just didn't fuck it up. But he got credit for it. That's so crazy to me. And then people going, oh, it's Baltimore. He should struggle. But y'all keep telling me that this dude is a good quarterback. Y'all keep telling me that it's not 32 people better than Baker Mayfield. What? You right. Because it's more. I can't do this with Baker. Midfield, under mid, below average. Not the standard. Piles of doo-doo. I can't continue to do this, all right? But I do enjoy every time I get a chance to just keep reading books, and every now and then, you know, a chapter pop up where it's like, oh, we get to talk about Baker Midfield today. Not the standard. Below average. Not that guy. Just a boy. Just a guy. Not that guy. Just a guy. Trash, can, garbage, dumpster, landfill, never be the standard. But let's go on to the other games, man. The Los Angeles Rams headed to New Orleans to take on the New Orleans Saints. Both teams came into this game with just 3 fucking wins on the season. It was not going to be anything that a winning team, like, let me put it like this. If your team was on a bye and your team was a good team, you had no reason to say, well, I wonder what that New Orleans Rams game looking like today. You know, you had no reason to do that. If they both got 6 wins combined, all right? No purpose in watching this game. So I didn't. The Rams would lose this game 20-27, continuing their losing ways. It is a rough season for the Rams, and I do not believe that they have their first-round draft pick in the draft this year. That is fucking tragic. You had a bad year for absolutely no fucking reason, with no reward at the end of it. You know how they say, keep going, keep pushing. It's a reward at the end of the tunnel. Not for the Rams this year, and that is tragic. Chicago went to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Could Justin Fields put it all together with the team and they get a win off of some of these wild rushing performances and games he is having? No. They lose 24-27. Cordell Patterson. What a play. Okay, so I actually watched a lot of this game, if not all of this damn game, except for like the first quarter. No, I watched this whole game actually. Cordell Patterson with a kick return, just plays after he had a fumble. Like, this was a great game. Chicago, I think Justin Fields, like, listen, Justin Fields and this offense continue to build around him and yada, yada, yada. This motherfucker cannot throw. I'm just telling you what I see right now. And I don't want to be hard. You know I don't like going at black quarterbacks, bro. You know that. Dak struggled last week, and I told y'all it was not Dak. Justin Fields cannot throw right now, bro. I just do not think you can have an offense led around Justin Fields. See, it's a difference between not having talent like a Lamar or like some of these other dudes didn't have. Josh Allen before he got his guy. Because I can still see, like a Jalen Hurts even. I can still see that they can pass, but they do need help improving here and there. Justin Fields is like at a level 1 right now. Like, Justin Fields threw a fucking football trying to sidearm it off the back of his player's helmet, standing right in front of him. That's, like, I'm not saying Justin Fields garbage. I don't think Justin Fields is garbage. I think Justin Fields can be a good quarterback. But what I'm saying is right now the running is great. But they're going to have to figure out how to improve on this passing. Because this is below average passing, bro. I don't care what these stats say. And the stats don't even, like, the stats is actually on my side. But I don't give a fuck about stats. I know what I see with my eyes. This team, every fucking time they drop back to actually have to pass, and Atlanta knew that they weren't going to run the ball, like they couldn't run with Justin Fields, even though they really still could, Atlanta had success. Anytime they had to play the field because Justin Fields could run, that's when they had got into some tight situations. But anytime they knew that Justin Fields had, and see, this is what's so interesting to me. Because people always say like, oh, well, you know, Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts can't throw. And I never agree. Well, I agreed with that with Lamar the first season because Lamar looked a lot like Justin Fields look right now, where it was just run. And but then Lamar's second season, it was like, oh shit, never mind. He actually can throw. If you give him weapons, you give him different. I don't see that. And this is Justin Fields' second season. Lamar won unanimous MVP his second season. Justin Fields, I'm not trying to compare him to Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying I know that's what ignorant people would try to use as his comp. Even though I think it's blasphemous to even compare him to Lamar Jackson. But I think it's blasphemous to compare him to Jalen Hurts because I also think Jalen Hurts is a better pure thrower of the football. Like diagnosing defense. You don't even have to be able to diagnose a defense. Just knowing that when somebody is open or knowing that there is throws that I can make with my, like Jalen Hurts wasn't always throwing it to the, one thing. So I don't think Jalen Hurts' problem, a lot of people can talk about how his passing had to improve, yada, yada, yada. I just think the knowledge of the passing game, getting more consistent in his reps, getting better weapons and things like that, because it's hard to just expect him to do something you didn't ask him to do in college. Justin Fields threw the ball a lot in college. He didn't do all this rushing in college. He had weapons and all those type of things. That's why it's hard to understand, to really know what you diagnose them when you're looking at quarterbacks in college, because some players will go to colleges where it's stacked. All the top recruits, all first round draft picks with top talent and shit like that. And they always playing against teams that they so fucking superior to, that you can't really see how great that player truly is. That could be Justin Fields. I don't know. But I just know I don't think he's the same passer that a lot of different players that you're going to try to put on as comps to him are. Like, people say Josh Allen couldn't pass his first 2 seasons. No, Josh Allen was just inaccurate his first 2 seasons. He wasn't just a bad thrower altogether. And he made mental mistakes because Josh Allen know he got a strong arm. I don't think Justin Fields' read defense is good. I think you have to simplify the offense far too much for him at times, which is bad when you have a defense that can be as good as different defenses are. He is not good in the pocket as far as like when you drop back and you know he got to be in the pocket where he not trying to escape. He is not good. He take too many sacks in the pocket and he take too. And I understand he don't got the greatest of offensive lines, but when you don't have a great offensive line, you can't be Russell Wilson behind that offensive line. You just can't. Russell Wilson got a bad offensive line, and he is bad in the pocket even with a bad offensive line. And maybe you become bad in the pocket off of years of having a bad offensive line like Russell Wilson had. But all I know is I done seen quarterbacks who've had bad offensive lines in their career and still have far better pocket presence and pocket awareness than Russell Wilson. And Justin Fields looking real Russell Wilson-ish to me in the pocket. And I think that's what it is with Justin Fields right now. I don't want to kill the kid because I know he can be a great quarterback. However, right now, as much as people getting excited about the rushing and all that shit, and I'm one of the people who say, I don't care how you get it done when you win, as long as you are winning, because that means your production is adding to wins. People was very critical of how the Eagles was winning last year. But Jalen Hurts' production was leading to wins. I said all you had to do was do this and this and this and that, and this will take this team to an even bigger level. And they did that in the offseason. So, to me, I don't see that right now with Justin Fields. Like, I don't really know what you could do. Because, like, I can give you the same game plan that you could give most quarterbacks, but I don't know if that would necessarily work. Because I don't know if this is a good offensive coordinator, but I know, and I don't even know if it's a bad one. But I do know he's trying to heavily lean into what he thinks Justin Fields do best. Run the ball and hit short passes, and maybe you can find a way to get somebody streaking wide open. Because it's so many things that I think, if you just being honest, not a Chicago Bears fan, and not being biased either or being a hater, if you just sitting back looking at, because I see people taking shots at Shady McCoy saying he hating. But listen, when you look at these Chicago Bears games, there is so many plays being left out on the field because Justin Fields in this past game is atrocious. And it'd be one thing if it was just his receivers. And I understand some of his receivers got drops and whatnot, but y'all done gave a lot of drops to bad throws by Justin Fields. I just want to point that out. Like, there's a lot of times where y'all done gave the receivers on this team, and I'm not praising these receivers saying they the greatest of receivers, but it's been multiple times I done watch games where Justin Fields throw a bad pass and the receiver try to catch that bad pass and end up dropping it. I understand if the ball hits your hands, you still got to catch it. But come on, bro. Y'all is like the game losing catch on, I think it was a Monday Night Football game this year where Justin Fields threw a pass to Mooney. And Mooney even took credit for, like, if I make that catch. That's a bad throw still. Like, I understand you want him to catch that, but that's still not a good throw. So, to me, it's very weird how Chicago fans and some people in the media who talk about this team, to me right now, I'm not a Bears fan, I'm not a Bears hater. I want to root for Justin Fields. I kept talking about last year, but I'm not seeing the constant I'm trying to it's too many negatives. Like, I can name so many. I'm desperately trying to think of something that Justin Fields do so far better than he do last year. And all I would say is running. But that's not leading to wins. Because the running is not, like I saw multiple times yesterday in the game. His first read. You think I'm about to say when his first read wasn't there, he ran. Man, sometimes in the game, he didn't even give a damn about his first read. Man, as soon as they hiked the ball, he took off. Now, I understand you could say, oh, well, bro, that's just a design quarterback run. All of them were not. I promise you. Go look at the game. And then you got the times where he did look at his first read. When that wasn't open, took off. Now, people said Jalen Hurts had that problem last year. I would contend Jalen Hurts did do that at times, but Jalen Hurts actually didn't have the weaponry last year. Jalen Hurts also knew that this was a team that was in playoff contention. So I have to do whatever I can do to win at certain points. So sometimes it was best that Jalen Hurts took off. This is not the same shit that's happening in Chicago right now. I actually think it's at times where it's hindering this offense that Justin Fields is taking off the way he is. Because he not giving his dudes chances to run routes. He not giving his offensive line time to pass protect. He not giving his running back the chances to go out and try to make a play and things like that. Like, I just think it's a certain time to where, and I'm not saying don't run Justin Herbert. Shit, I don't care that you run him as much as they. I just think when the offense becomes so just run the ball, Justin Herbert, where the only good plays we ever have is off of like weird breaks in the defense or Justin Herbert running. Well, now we got a problem because now the development ain't there. Like, that means no, what's happening in practice? Like, I just don't see. And like I said, when Justin Fields run like this, let the running game be dominant too then. Their run game not that dominant. It's just dominant right now in the stat sheets because Justin Fields. So, I'm not high on Chicago. I'm just not. And I know people are going to say that the defense, they traded away damn near all the great defenders on the team because they're trying to rebuild. However, I done seen, like, people just keep making excuses for quarterbacks. And I just want people to know, this ain't just me going to Justin Fields. I don't even think that draft class was a good quarterback draft class at this point because Trevor Lawrence ain't who people thought he was going to be. And yeah, he done played decent the last couple weeks, but and he was on a bye week this week, but his last week was good, decent, but he haven't been nowhere near what the people thought he was going to be. And I see quarterbacks turn franchises around. I don't care how bad the situation is. They turn franchises around. I just don't see turn the franchise around with Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence right now. I don't see it. And I'm not saying none of them can't get to that. I'm just saying I don't see it right now. And one of the reasons that I think people are higher on Trevor Lawrence than they are on Justin Fields right now is because Trevor Lawrence actually can throw. Like, Trevor Lawrence, it has a concept of how to read defenses to a certain extent. He turned the ball over a lot. But he still is a far better in the pass game than Justin Fields is right now. And you can say, oh, where's coaching? He was better in the pass game than Justin Fields last year. And he still threw more turnovers. But if you watch the games, you know, oh, this is a quarterback who clearly not afraid to make throws. He just ain't got talent or coaching around him, and he a rookie. And I understand the rookie things that come with Justin Fields, even though he's not a rookie, he in his second year. But I mean, come on, bro. At some point in time, we got to stop making excuses, and we just got to start finding ways to and talk about how to make him better, ways he can get better. And I just think right now, whether it's on him, on coaching, on coordinators, I don't know. But I just don't think he's good enough. I don't. And I don't see an NFL quarterback. I don't see an NFL franchise quarterback. Let me put it like that. And I don't think, I'm not going to say what I was going to say next. Let's move on to the next motherfucking game, man. Washington went into Houston. And I don't know. I cannot remember who the fuck gave Houston this one dub. But shame on fucking you, bro. Houston 1-7-1 is now 1-8-1. One of the ugliest fucking records I've ever seen. Whoever the number one quarterback in the draft better get ready to saddle up in Houston. You about to be a Texan, my boy. Washington. They are now over 500, meaning every single team in that division, in the NFC East, I believe it is. I don't think it's the East. Whatever that Cowboys division is, everybody in that fucking division is over 500 because the Washington is now 6-5 after going into Houston winning 23-10. Hey, I don't think Tyler Heinicke is a franchise quarterback. I don't think he trash either. I think he's actually a great backup quarterback, but right now you got to have him as your as your starting quarterback. And I think Carson Wentz was healthy enough to play today, but they went with Heinicke. So shout out Heinicke. He might have won the job again. It seemed like he got to win that job every damn year. Washington's a terrible organization, so I'm not shocked by this. But shout out to Washington, the Commanders. Who are we? Goofballs. Anyways, shout out to the Commanders, bro. They got that 23-10 dub. Detroit headed in the new Meadowlands to take on the Giants, and they win 31-18, meaning the fucking Detroit Lions have picked up 3 wins in a row. Now I know what you're thinking. Man, that must mean they record looking solid now, right? Nah, they just 4-6. The team still sucks. But listen, It's a perfect matchup at a perfect time because at some point in time, Daniel Jones was going. Well, I don't even. You know what's weird about this? I was gonna say Daniel Jones had to come back to life. Daniel Jones really hadn't been playing superior or superb. I told you the Giants have been winning off a team effort, much like the Vikings, and much like the Vikings, they got their asses stomped in today. And when you look at the stats for Detroit, this is why I say don't watch stats because you actually got to watch these games. You can never realize the stats would never make sense as to how they put up this many points. But you get a turnover here, a turnover there. You know what I'm saying? And I like Detroit's run game. I know some people, if you watch the show and you like Dan Campbell and you hear me be, I don't really think I'm that critical of Dan Campbell. I rarely ever talk about him. But when I do talk about him, I talk about how I don't know how he is the head coach of this team. I don't care that they done won 3 games in a row, bro. He still should not be the head coach of this fucking team. Adrian Hutchinson, great draft pick. Another interception this week. I think that made 2 in his lifetime. Like, he never had an interception in his life before, playing against Aaron Rodgers. So, shout out to Adrian Hutchinson. Happy for you, big dog. But, man, if you Detroit, you got to be happy for Detroit, man. You got to be happy that they picking up some wins because it's showing you, I don't care too much about the wins per se, but it's showing you that you have pieces. Now, I'm still not going to ever say that Jared Goff is a starting quarterback because he is not. And I like the running back Swift and Williams, and I'm interested to see if they had a better quarterback, how even better that run tandem could be. But I'm going to tell you what I do like. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God, who I'm not quite sure yet if he is a slot receiver masquerading as an outside receiver because of lack of talent on the around him, or if he really is he can do both. I'll know by the end of the season. But I know he is stud. And the other player on that defense that I like, on that team that I love, Adrian Hutchinson. You have to hit on those tight picks. You have to. When you don't take a quarterback that high, and you don't take like a guaranteed hit that high, and you take a player on the defensive side, they have to make this type of impact. People will continue to tell you that Jadeveon Clowney was a bust. I continue to tell you people who say that shit do not know football and did not watch Jadeveon Clowney. Because if you judge that man by one stat, which is sacks, then you just don't know football. It was hardly any dude playing the line that was as disruptive as Jadeveon Clowney. And I'm not talking about just disrupt a play or two. This motherfucker could fuck up a whole game without getting one sack. It is not a lot of. It's rarely any defensive lineman that you could say. It's not too many defenders that you could say would impact the game heavily if they didn't get a certain type of stat. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I continuously don't know how to judge certain players and whatnot. But I'm telling you, and real quick, while are we talking? Patrick Queen, 2 decent weeks in a row. 2 legitimately good weeks in a row. Not that bullshit that PFF continue to masquerade around saying he was good on weeks he wasn't. Patrick Queen was the best player on the defensive side. Well, I don't want to say that, but he was great yesterday. Clearly, Roquan Smith was something that he needed. I don't know if it's what Roquan telling him. I don't know if it's him watching Roquan. He needed Roquan. He looked better playing beside Roquan than he did look playing beside LJ Fort. Him playing beside LJ Fort was his best looking season to me. And that wasn't even a good season, but it was his best one. He looked way better playing beside LJ Fort. Playing beside Roquan Smith. Because it's a confidence there that I know Roquan is going to handle whatever task they put in front of him. And now they can let me blitz, which is what I said that they should be letting him do anyways. Because he is so fast that you should be having him speed rush. Now, as soon as they realize that they can kick his... Now, they probably going to keep him playing in the middle linebacking position because they got so many different dudes on the outside. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think Patrick Queen could be more productive than some of these dudes we got playing outside. Because the sacks is coming from the defensive line. Shout out Calais Campbell, who I've been highly critical of. This motherfucker has been him since he got healthy this season. Justin Houston, highly critical. He has been him this season. I'm so proud of this defense, man. Mike McDonald, man, you take a lap. I really wasn't criticizing you too heavily this season. I'm still not going to give you too much praise yet. But what I will give you credit for is the turnovers. Because one thing that I love Wink Martindale. So you're not going to see me talk too critical or down on Wink. Because I still rock with that man. But he wasn't getting the turnovers that you get. And that's one thing that I always was critical of Wink with. You do so much on this defense, but they don't get turnovers. We need turnovers, Wink. Now, that's not necessarily on Wink. I also think, to be fair to Wink did not have. If Wink was with C.J. Mosley, once he lost C.J. Mosley, they did not bring Wink another legitimate linebacker. McDonald gets a Roquan Smith. Like, it's not even comparable. Look at what C.J. Mosley is still doing right now. I just want to say I'm validated in being this defensive of defending C.J. Mosley. Like, people think I'm a Raven fan that hate the Ravens. I don't. But I can be honest about some of this terrible business decisions they done made. You make a business decision to let C.J. Mosley walk. C.J. Mosley is still a top linebacker in the NFL right now. The man was a top linebacker when Luke Kuechly and Bobby Wagner were in their primes. Bobby Wagner still playing, is no longer in his prime, but he's still a top 10 linebacker in the league. I would say middle linebacker, I say top 5 still. And I'm not taking Bobby Wagner out of the top 5 middle linebackers. I don't care how bad the Rams playing. But, and you know what? When I look at the Rams, and this is why I said that Bobby Wagner should have signed with the Ravens. Because Bobby Wagner was needed far more in Baltimore, which is very evident by looking at how better the defense look now that they have a middle linebacker. And it's so many things I can say about this situation, and I wish I had the viewership, because I told you, it's two positions that they don't take serious enough, that they continue to say ain't good enough and yada, yada, yada. Receivers and middle linebackers. For some fucking reason, the media will have you believe that those are not two of the most important positions on a football field. Because a great receiver is like, great receivers are the Steph Curry of an offense. They change the gravity. Because of what they do to a defense. You take Devontae Adams off of your team, it completely changes what your offense can do. Because it's going to completely change what a defense do. That's the Steph Currys of football. You want to know who else is much like a Steph Curry of football? Middle linebackers. Middle linebackers are like the centers back in the day, actually. Like, you needed a great center to have a great team because they protect the paint. They make sure that nobody, even in today's day, NBA, you want a great wing defender, right? If they were compared to today's game, they would be wing defenders. You need middle linebackers who can shut shit down in the middle. If not, then you're going to have Travis Kelce's going haywire on you. You're going to have Mark Andrews going haywire on you. You're going to have all type of slot receivers going bananas on you because your middle of your field is not impacted. It doesn't have that impact player that can shut shit down. People who don't understand football always like to put those sack stats on middle linebacker. A middle linebacker should not have more than 5 sacks a season because I don't want my middle linebacker coming in blitzing, leaving the middle of the field wide the fuck open for somebody to pop a quick slant, a quick dig route, a quick 5-step drop. Like, I don't want that. So the importance of a middle linebacker, a great one, is immeasurable. That's why you love the C.J. Mosleys, the Luke Kuechlys, the Patrick Willises, the Ray Lewises, and I don't even know sisses at the end of these words because these ain't it's no S's at the end of these. These is one in a lifetime type of players, but this is why they were these type of players. The importance, I'm just telling you, they don't give the importance and the credit enough to these receivers who are the Steph Currys of the game. And these middle linebackers who are much like the wing defenders or centers, great defensive centers of the game. And I ain't talking about sorry ass Rudy Gobert. No disrespect to Rudy Gobert, but you know, I'm happy he got his money. But nonetheless, getting back to this Giants game, I'm interested to happen what's gonna happen with Saquon Barkley in the offseason if he come back or if he goes somewhere else. I can't imagine that Brian Daboll, if he start to build this team in his image, that either Saquon or Daniel Jones would be here for too long. But Saquon, I think could end up going to a team where they actually need a running back because they want to play a run-heavy type of style. I could see him getting to L.A. I could see him going to now, I don't think Saquon going to break the bank, just like I don't think Josh Jacobs going to break a bank. It's just not going to happen. Two dudes who done been injured, not even just injured for Josh Jacobs, injured for Saquon, but just the lack of production for Saquon based off of injuries. And just Josh Jacobs having up and down years. He having a great year this year. But I just don't think the value of a running back is one that I can't dispute right now. Because I don't think the running back is as valuable. I mean, Ravens got Kenyon Drake, and he ain't as, I'm not saying Kenyon Drake or Saquon and no shit like that. He good enough. And they ain't paying him nothing crazy. Like, I just don't think the values of running backs is that important anymore. If you get a running back that can actually know how to make his cuts, run strong and all that, all you need to make sure you do is have a good offensive line and great play calling. Like, it's a reason that the Chiefs don't have to go out and get some top flight running back. They're not going to be paying no top-notch running back, bro. They just going to find running backs who can give them enough to make sure my boy Pat MaGOAT can do what he do and Kelsey can do what he do. And trust me, we going to get to that. That's going to be a separate video when we get to that one. We're going to break down that Sunday night football game. Cleveland went to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills, but they actually did not go to Buffalo because it was a snowstorm or some shit like that. So they was in Detroit. They played at Ford Field. And this game started off hella slow for Buffalo. Hella slow. Weird type game for Josh Allen. But you just do what you got to do to get it done. Shout out to the defense for stepping up, getting stops in the second half. Jacoby Brissett played a great game. Really trying to make them think about if they're going to bench him for Deshaun when Deshaun get back. But I promise you they benching you, buddy, because they done paid Deshaun way too much not to bench you. So that just is what it is. But what it is showing is that Cleveland going to be a good fucking team when Deshaun get there. If Deshaun Watson is as good as he last was when we saw him play. The man ain't basically played in 2 years. I don't know how great you are after not playing in 2 years. I don't know how your body going to respond to taking hits in the NFL. I don't know how your body going to respond to playing full-length games. New defenses that you probably got to learn now. It's a lot of different things, but I think you're in a great situation with Stefanski, this run game. You got the receiver. Like, the Browns organization, you say what you want about them, but they done built a pretty solid team. Still don't really know how to feel about the secondary that continuously seem like they are going to blow a coverage once or twice a game. Cannot understand that for the life of me, but you know, it is what it is. They are not going to come back in this division. They fall to 3-7 now, Cleveland that is. I just think it's too hard to compete now because of the Ravens with the record that they have, because the Ravens go to 7-3 on the season. The Bengals, who got a win in the 4 o'clock slot, which we could talk about real quick, they win 37-30 in Pittsburgh. They move to 6-4 on the season. So I just think maybe you catch Cincinnati. I don't see it. Even with Deshaun coming back, because I'm not expecting too much out of Deshaun when he come back. But we shall see. For Buffalo, great win on the road, basically, because it's a home game, but it's still a road game, basically, because you're not playing in your stadium. Even though I'm not sure you're not happy you're not playing in your stadium. I mean, you're playing in a controlled environment in a stadium. I'm pretty sure you like that. I seen they was talking about the new Buffalo stadium designs and all that type of shit. It'd just be a complete waste of your quarterback to not put a roof on the fucking field, bro. It makes no sense. Like, I don't understand why you want your quarterback playing in the elements. Oh, you know, we want our other team playing in the elements when they come here. Okay, but I don't care about that. I want my quarterback to be as great. If I have a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady for my fucking quarterback, put me in a controlled fucking environment every day. Can you imagine how much better Brady would have been if he never... Now, Brady has some insane games in the snow. But could you imagine how much better he would have been if he could have always played in a nice, controlled, warm environment, comfy environment, playing environment? Would have been crazy. Would have been crazy. That's all I'm saying. Imagine he got what Drew Brees got in that stadium on him. That's all I'm saying, bro. The New York Jets, Jetsll. They go to New England, and they do exactly what I knew they was going to do. Lose. 3-10. And you want to know what's the real shame in this game? Because they lost off a walk-off punt return. This shit was crazy. That shit was... Bro, I turned to this game after turning away from this game. Because, I mean, how long can you watch a 3-3 game, bro? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like same shit that was going on in that Ravens game. And they was moving the ball in both games on for one team, and they just could never score. Baltimore was moving the ball, couldn't score. New England was moving the ball, couldn't score. And this game for New England is just more of a reminder that Mac Jones is not trash. Mac Jones playing for trash-ass individuals. If Mac Jones was playing for a team that actually had a offensive coordinator that knew what the fuck they were doing. Because people, it's like Mark Sanchez said on one of the broadcasts or on a show this week. You hire an offensive coordinator, if you're the Patriots and you got these defensive-minded dudes running offensive coordinator thinking that they can just do it because they can, that's a problem because it's not that easy. And so Mac Jones, to me, is still in a disadvantage. What the fuck word am I looking? He ain't in a favorable situation, my guy. He just ain't. He ain't in a favorable situation. So I don't think Mac Jones is a bad quarterback. I also don't think he's nothing special. I'm not saying he gonna light the world up if he was in another situation. But I do know he would be better than he is playing in this fucking Patriots organization. I don't even, man, this team is going to kill Mac Jones' career if he don't get out. If some other team don't realize what they could do with Mac Jones, Mac Jones could be Alex Smith, but better. Because I don't think Mac Jones is inaccurate. I don't think he got the worst arm I've ever seen and nothing like. Bro, Drew Brees made a hell of a career with an arm that was not as strong as Joe Flacco or Jay Cutler. And he still could hit people down the field. So Mac Jones is more than... See, that's the thing. People think Mac is trash, and they think Justin Fields is great. And I love a black quarterback, so you would think I'm defending Justin Fields. But every time I look at him, I'm like, bro, I would not want this as my franchise quarterback. And every time I look at Mac Jones, I want to hate on him. But I'm like last year when he won all them games, I was like, bro, this is not Mac Jones winning these games, bro. That's the running game and the defense. I see what they doing. But I was also the one saying, I don't think Mac is trash either. Because when they actually let the man step back, and well, not when he had no choice but to pass the ball, he didn't look terrible. He looked like he was playing for an offensive coordinator and a team that didn't know what the fuck they was doing. And I could clearly see he know how to pass the ball. He is not some trash can at reading defenses and all that. I actually think he's pretty good at reading defenses. I just think now he need the next step in the progression you would want in your young quarterback. It's not happening in New England for Mac Jones at the rate it would be happening for Lamar Jackson playing with an actual offensive coordinator. Pat Mahomes playing under an actual offensive coordinator. Like, one of the problems I think that's happening with Justin Fields, when we get to that game later on in my next video, he ain't playing for a good enough coach or offensive coordinator. I think not Justin Fields, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is being held back. They throw the ball way too fucking much on that team. And why would I be saying that when they got a quarterback like that? Well, you'll find out when we get to it tonight, even though I done addressed this situation multiple times. But the Jets end up losing 3-10. And at the podium, I don't even know why this question was asked. It's kind of a jackass type of question, but nonetheless, it was asked. They asked Zach Wilson, do you feel like your play let this offense down? Or do you feel like you let this offense down based off of your play? And Zach Wilson said no. That big N-O. No. Now, people taking that very, personal and whatnot. They like, man, this dude ain't got no accountability. Oh, this dude's a bad leader. Oh, this dude, he couldn't lead my franchise. And what I would say to that is, if you watch Zach Wilson and you haven't said none of them things because of his play, then, hey, man, you was literally just holding on, waiting for this dude to say something bad before you turned on him. Because Zach Wilson's play is what should make you say that this can't be my quarterback. They have literally switched the offense to make it a run-heavy offense and made it so that just don't make a mistake for us, buddy. Just don't make a mistake, buddy. Just all we ask you to do is go out there and hand that ball off. They done Baker Mayfield the motherfucker. And this is what's going to make you think that this can't be your quarterback now? That's odd. But, anyways. Philadelphia went into Indy off of their first loss of the season. Would they lose back-to-back games? No, they wouldn't. And it's not necessarily because they're a better team than the Colts were yesterday. I think the Colts played a pretty good game yesterday. But I think the Colts gave as much as they absolutely could. And that's weird to say when the game was 17-16. However, sometimes good offenses just struggle. It is what it is. That was one of those days for Philly yesterday. However, the star quarterback stayed consistent. He kept trying. He kept moving the ball. He kept taking what the defense gave him, knowing that this will pay off if I just remain consistent, doing what I know I should be doing. And it did for Jalen Hurts ultimately. That's why he is him. And I did have him as my number one MVP candidate, but he failed it too, bro. I cannot have nobody over Pat Mahomes for MVP, bro. I'm sorry. I just can't. If they were still undefeated, I would, because that would be raining heavy in my mind. But even though that's a team thing, bruh, Pat Mahomes is playing insane football, bro. And I know I got kind of a bias towards Pat Mahomes because I think that's like even though I'm not a Chiefs fan and nothing like that, it just seemed like I got a bias towards him because I call him MaGOAT. But listen, I've been watching Jalen Hurts longer than I've been watching Pat Mahomes, and I fuck with Jalen Hurts heavy too, so it ain't even one of them things. I just think Pat Mahomes, like Jalen Hurts is literally second for me, but I cannot put nobody over Pat Mahomes, bro, especially after the night he had on Sunday night in Chargers State, well, SoFi Stadium, and they don't own it, but they play there. So anyways, Philadelphia ended up getting this win at the end, a big time clutch drive by Jalen Hurts and these boys. The Indianapolis Colts, however the fuck you pronounce that, I don't even think this is as bad a team as I thought they were originally. Matt Ryan clearly ain't the answer. Jeff Saturday got them playing way better football. I don't know what it is, but they do look better the last 2 weeks under Jeff Saturday. Pat McAfee Pat said that he think, and I love Pat, but Pat saying that he think Jeff Saturday getting a job like this gonna help some other other players out. If they white, it might, but it ain't gonna help no black player, Pat. Like, come on, dog. You ain't that stupid. Darius Butler ain't getting hired no quicker just because Jeff Saturday got hired like this, my guy. However, like I said before, while I don't agree with the process of how it happened, I do think Jeff Saturday was going to be a good head coach. Jeff Saturday got good head coach written all over him, bro. The motherfucker was a center for Peyton Manning for multiple years. You not finna tell me this man can't make at least an offense better. So I think the problem that they dealing with right now, because Indy's defense is even good enough. The problem is this offense, man. The offense just ain't good enough. And when you have Matt Ryan, it's just so much you can do. And they don't have legitimate number one receivers over there. I don't care how many times you dress up some of these weird named receivers for the Colts, bro. They are not number one receivers. Ever since T.Y. Hilton left his prime, they've been void of a receiver, a number one receiver. I thought Michael Pittman was going to be the answer. He is not a number one receiver. They refuse to get a number one receiver, and they keep getting these makeshift quarterbacks. I hope that they let Jeff Saturday. See, what they really should be doing is losing these fucking games. They 4-5. Now they fall to 4-6-1. And you definitely ain't got enough L's right now. Or you got way too many wins, in my opinion, to be competing for one of them top picks in the draft. But maybe not. Because a lot of the worst teams are sitting at 3 wins right now. Example, the Rams. They only have 3 wins. Chicago. They only have 3 wins. But I don't imagine Chicago looking for a quarterback, even though they could be. Cleveland, 3 wins, but they definitely not looking for a quarterback, so that doesn't even matter. Detroit, 3 wins. I don't know. Now, wait a minute. Never mind. Detroit just won 4 games, so they got the same amount of wins as you. Carolina, 3 wins. They're definitely looking for a quarterback. Vegas just moved to 3 wins on the season. I would imagine they're looking for a quarterback eventually, but maybe not. Maybe not, but who knows? Denver, sitting at 3. Now, I know they can't be looking for a quarterback. But what I'm saying is, if you Indy, what's the move right here? Is we making Jeff the permanent head coach and trying to go get him a quarterback? Or is we finna do this makeshift shit again? Because if that's what we finna do again, then Jeff gonna be up out of there soon too. But the 4 o'clock slates, Vegas headed to Denver to take on the 3-6 Denver Broncos. Could not. When we came into this game, I said to myself, how the fuck do the Raiders have one less win than this badass Denver team? Well, it's because Denver got a far better defense. Even though the defense only gave up 22 points today for the Broncos, it still was too many because they lose the game 22-16. Because in a game that the Broncos actually led for a good portion of it, the offense just could never get it done. So, like what usually happens in these type of games where your defense just continuously get put on the field over and over again because the offense just cannot score, the other offense eventually find ways to score. So, it just is what it is. Cincinnati went into Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, and they win 37-30. Joe Burrow had 2 interceptions. I don't know what it is about Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh played Lamar and Joe Burrow good. I didn't want to admit that, but it just is what it is. Pittsburgh don't have a quarterback. They should not be beating the Ravens in the Cincinnati in some of these games they done beat them in the last couple years. But for some reason, they just play very well against the teams in their division. As far as maybe aside from even though they done dominated Cleveland over the last couple years. Cleveland, I don't know what it is, bro. Mike Tomlin just got the answer to how to play Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. It helps when you got Cam Hayward, Minka Fitzpatrick, and what's my man's name? And Cam Hayward, TJ Watt. That's who I was looking for. It helped when you got those studs, but yeah, they ultimately they couldn't get it done. I'm shocked that they put up 30 points, but they play Cincinnati very good. They are going to compete against the Ravens. If the Ravens just had to pull one out against Carolina, they're going to be competing against Pittsburgh, whose defense is better than Carolina's. Or can be. Both defenses got it streaky. Carolina and Pittsburgh, they can hold your team to under 10 or under 17 1 week, and then they can just let you blast them for 40-something points 1 week. It makes no sense. What did make sense to me? Dallas went into Minnesota and beat the shit out of the Vikings 40-3. And I expected this to happen. Bro. I'm telling you. Dallas, to me, is a better team than Minnesota. I don't know. Listen, I don't think Kirk Cousins and Dak that too much far apart. And I'm not going to have a conversation on who I would take right now. That's a conversation for another video. But listen, I just think Dallas is better than Minnesota. I think Minnesota is a great team. Dallas is a great team who I also think can win games with just one unit of their team playing good. The defense. I don't think that can happen for Minnesota. They have to be clicking on all cylinders to win a game. And when you go into when you get blasted 40-3 in your own building, my dog. Sheesh. And the Sunday night football game, KC went into LA to take on the Chargers, and of course KC wins that game 30-27. And I'm not gonna spend time on that one because for one, I didn't expect to go damn near an hour in this, so we about to end it. But I'm going to make a separate video specifically talking about this game because obviously I watched this entire game. And I got a lot to fucking say about Pat MaGOAT and the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Chiefs kryptonite, Mr. Travis Kelce. But tonight's game, Monday night game, will be the 49ers heading into Arizona to take on the Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals are 4-6. They need this win. The 49ers are 5-4. You could say they need this win. Which is what's crazy now that I'm looking at that because, let's say the 49ers lose this game. I'm taking the Niners, but let's say they lose this game. Now the Cards and the Niners are both sitting at 5 wins on the season, right? The Rams do have 6 losses, but so do the Cardinals. And if the Niners lose tonight, that'll get the Niners 5 losses. The Rams could legitimately still go on a run and win this fucking division. I mean, not win the division because Seattle winning the division. But they could still go on a run and put themselves in position to get a playoff spot. That's how fucking bad some of these NFC teams have been this year. But with that being said, I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint, the Week 11 recap, game score recaps, whatever you want to call it. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Join me again Well, it won't be tonight because the video gonna be uploaded tomorrow when I do, but it will be the video talking about Sunday night football. Well, I don't know. Sunday night football video might be up by the end of the night. But Monday night recap will definitely be up tomorrow. So, with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me. I fuck with you. I love you. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love. Give my Dukes a kiss on the cheek for me. Saying out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking or something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.